Hi guys, welcome to the challenge and practice activity for motion graphics. To follow along and to complete your animation, you need to open the file motiongraphics-challenge-start.aap. Within this project file, you'll find out that there is a composition called design. I already created the design for you. Just because I found it boring for you to watch me just writing text and adding rectangles and doing a lot of duplications. You notice it's very easy for you to create this design. There's really nothing special. There is a rectangle here, anchor point is in the middle, there is another rectangle here, another rectangle here, some bars which are rectangles, here you are, and you have some text that I put in certain places. So not only you can recreate this design, that will be a good practice, but also you can take this design and make it better. First, you can focus on the fonts. I used here Calibri everywhere, because I wanted to make it easy for you. When you open the project file, there is no mysterious font I used over here and you have to go and look for it and you're having problems. But yet, it's very interesting that you change the fonts. Try to use thin fonts and a bit expanded. Like notice here with the Calibri, I had to make it 110. So rearranging this design or redesigning it altogether, it's an interesting job that you can start doing and it's a bit important. Notice to create this design, I used the workspace Text2. Text2 is a workspace that we used before. It's very simple. It's like the default, but it has the character and the paragraph and the align panel just over here, just ready for you to start working. Now, since the design is ready, please do not use this composition to make changes. Duplicate it. Okay, so you have design 2, for example, and start making the design. Leave this composition as a reference later on. So it's up to you now to create a beautiful design, or you can use this design to start animating with me. So let's start. First thing, I don't need Text2 anymore. First, I don't need Text2 workspace. I will go back to the default and reset the default and close the library here. I don't like it. So I will select design 2, Ctrl D to duplicate it, and I press enter and call it Animate. Okay, you can call it any name you would like. Now let's start animating this rectangle. Animation is all about where you place the anchor point. It can make a lot of difference. Before we start creating any keyframe, first we adjust the anchor point, and you will decide exactly how you want your animation to go. In the case of the rectangle, I'm thinking about sliding it in while it's being scaled up. Well, that could be an idea. Select it, open the scale, then let's place the anchor point in the right place. I press Y, select the anchor point, just click on it and drag it. If you press Shift, it will go in a straight line. Control, it will snap, but I want just to put it just over here. Now, let's try the animation here. Of course, you remove the chain link and let's try it from over here. Well, this seems a good animation from this space. I will undo. Go to 20 frames. I'm gonna use a lapse of 20 frames here. It will be okay. Then we retime them. I will click on the stopwatch to create the first keyframe, come back to the beginning and put it at 0 the scale. Here you are. We try our animation. Not bad. It's working fine. Let's animate global and warming. The anchor point is over here. It's okay. I want just to animate with the position. I press P for the position, press K to jump to the next keyframe, go to the beginning of the composition, and with the selection tool, just click and drag and put them outside. Well, that will do for now. Notice the animation is very simple. Let's animate the two backgrounds over here. Select the top one and notice the anchor point is just in the middle of the layer. And the bottom one, the anchor point is also in the middle of the layer. First, adjust the anchor point. For this guy, take the anchor point and just snap it over here. Cool. For this guy, I will just snap it just over here. Okay, if it's not working with you, like it's jumping, you can just press Alt or Option on the Mac and point where you want to zoom and just scroll the mouse. You notice it's quite good now. You can see where the anchor point is snapping. Let's go back to 100%. Both backgrounds, I want to animate them with the scale. I will go for the selection tool, select both of them. Here you are. Press S for the scale. Jump to the previous keyframe. Click on the stopwatch to create the keyframes. Go back to the beginning and simply remove the chain link and put it at 0. Here you are. You notice how they are animated. Well, that's pretty cool. If I put 0, here you are. They are being animated very nicely. They come one after the other. That's not the only animation, guys. You can create much more than that. Now let's go for the 3 bars here. The anchor point is in the middle. I wish that the anchor point tool could move the anchor point of 3 layers, but actually it can go 1 layer at a time, and if you click while having more than 1 layer selected, it's not gonna move. So I will have to deselect, select the bar here, and drag the anchor point to the bottom here. I press Ctrl, and it's now working, so I need to zoom in. Okay, I'm showing you all the details here possible. Then come to this guy, just over here, select him, the anchor point is here. Press Ctrl or Command on the Mac and just snap it to the bottom middle. Okay, and this guy also, I will just snap it to the middle button over here. Press Shift, that's it. Go back to 100%. So we have bar right, bar medium, and bar left. We open the scale. There's a lot of animations with the scale all the time. You go to the next keyframe, click on the stopwatch to create the animation, go back to the beginning, and simply remove the chain link. I already done this. And vertically now, you want to take them to 0. Here you are. So you have a very nice animation just over here. Notice, of course, we need to sequence later. You notice that the 3 text over here, the percentages, have the anchor point at the bottom, in the middle bottom. Fine, I will select the 3 of them, and I want to animate them through the opacity, that is T, and then through the scale, that is Shift S. And jump to the previous keyframe here. Click on the stopwatch for both properties. Come back to the beginning. Put the scale to 0. Notice how they are scaling down. Okay, usually it's much nicer to use the opacity also. I'll put opacity to 0. Here you are. You have a very nice animation. The 3 guys here, I'm going to use opacity. So I press T to get opacity, and I can keyframe it now that you know. Okay, at the beginning here, put the value to 0. Okay, jump to the next keyframe and put the value to 100%. Okay, I knew what I was doing here. Here we are. You create a very nice animation. Now, later on, you will sequence it. Now, these guys, let's play a bit here. Let's animate the top guy here. Okay, with the rotation. I will open the rotation. You notice I already rotated it to 45 degrees. I did not rotate the shape because I want to see the 45 degrees here. Let's go to the next keyframe and keyframe it at 45 degrees. Come back to the beginning and let's scrub through. Okay, it's a very stupid animation like this. Let's take care of the anchor point. I'll click on it and drag it and just snap it to the border of the composition. I'm using Shift and Control or Command on the Mac. So this guy has the anchor point over here. Now, if you fiddle with the rotation, notice it's pretty cool. Okay, so we can start from here. I think -90 will be cool. Fine. And then you have a nice animation here, but unfortunately it's coming over everything. To avoid this, I can just add the scale. That will be Shift S. I will keyframe the scale here at 0 both. Okay, come to the next keyframe and make it 100%. Okay, now the animation is a bit better where it doesn't climb over everything. You can just adjust it or take the anchor point a bit to the lower side. Okay, notice now it's not gonna come over anything. Now I'm left with these 2 guys here. Well, these guys, you can animate them the way you would like. You can rotate them out or you can move them with the position. The nice way here I would like to do is using the position. I would keyframe the position, come back to the beginning here, and using the selection tool, I click on one of them, drag, and put it just outside. Cool. Now notice the animation here. It's cool, but not that cool at all. So the way I want to do it is when this is settled here, I want them to be at the same position. Select both of them. Come to the Align panel and just align them. Notice they jumped in the middle. Since I can't grab them anymore, I'm going to use this one just over here and put it just here. Okay, that's for both of them. After some time here, let's say 10 frames, I'm gonna take the right one and just move it to the other position. Okay, so I'm trying to be creative, so to say, but I want you to get used to this and try to be also creative. Nice, I like the animation. So actually we have animated already everything except the ancient here. Now the ancient is badly positioned, I guess. So we click on it, just move it in the middle over here. Okay, and let's do only opacity. It will look nicer. So we'll come to the previous keyframe, another one. We keyframe the opacity, come back to the beginning, we put at 0. Okay, here you are. We need to sequence them to make sense. So guys, it's very easy to animate if you follow the method I'm showing you. If you wanted to start guessing and playing around and so on, it's gonna be hard, please believe me. Now that you watched how I animated, this is not the only one. Of course, you can do lots of other things. You can get the bars to come from top, for example, or scale them from the middle here, anything you want. You can get the background to come from outside using the position, and this guy even to slide it in a different way. So please come and play here, it's very important. So now that we completed the animation, we want to go to the next step and sequence the layers and make it, much nicer. The last step, which is this one, is to sequence your layers. I'm gonna show you here a different way that sometimes I work with. It's quite cool, by the way. Let's decide exactly what you want to animate first. I will go for global warming and its background. Now what I will do is to come down there, select global warming and the background here, and then I will put off visibility for everything else. Here you are. Okay, so everything else is invisible except these 3 layers. And while I'm sequencing, I will make them appear. It will be very convenient, you will see. Okay, so let's come here and decide how do we want this layer to be animated. If you play your animation, the background is coming much before than it should. So we need to delay the global and the warming. So click on them and push them on this side. That's one way to do it. Or the better way is to speed up the background and then reduce also the speed on the 2 other layers. Here you are. So I press spacebar to play. With this method, you are really focusing here. You see exactly how things are happening. Now let's move on to the other layers. For example, the background. Here they are. I'll put the visibility on. Okay. And let's decide that these guys are going to come much faster. That's one. Okay. Bring them over here. And they come while the others haven't finished, their animation. So they come just over here. You see, quite cool. In fact, I will go even more. I will do like this. Okay. Here you are. You notice at the same time. That's pretty nice. We finish from these layers. Now we take the graphs. You have the bar, right, left, and middle. I'll put the eye on. And then just click and drag. And just put them here. You don't want to delay too much. And you want to speed them up. Okay, that looks cool for me. Here you are. If you look now, wow, not bad. Let's go up now. And change the order for the percentage. You want to animate the percentage before the 0, 1, 2, 3. So I selected the 3 of them, as you see. Then click on one of them and drop it under the 1. Okay, where's the 1? Over here. I will just drop it over here. Then I put, of course, the visibility on. And then drag them to put them behind. But don't wait for the end, It's going to be kind of nothing happening on the screen for a few frames, but still noticeable. So I bring them just over here. And of course, I want to make it much speedier. So I'll click and bring them over here. If you play now, not bad. Let's deselect. I like it the way they're coming. Okay, if you don't like it, of course, guys, feel free to do whatever you think is better even. Now, I selected 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put them on. And the animation is very long here. I'm going to make it, just 10 frames. That's enough. And when everything has come, right, into place, I want the 1, 2, 3 to come alone. I'm just going to bring them over here. Okay, let's see how the animation will look. So now decide how you want to animate these squares here. First of all, I'll put them on. Okay. Then I will select the last keyframes of the 3 layers. Click on one of them and make them shorter in time. Here you are. This will do. I will sequence them and let's see what happens if I put them just over here. Now we need to make the timeline a bit longer, or the work area. There is a dead time. You notice, guys, there is a dead time here and it's not cool at all. Because the 0, 1, 2, 3 are not very influential. So I take this one, just put them over here and ignore the 0, 1, 2, 3. They're coming together. That's not bad. I deselect to see everything and play. still I have a dead time here. So I'll select the squares again and just bring them over here. See exactly how it's happening. Not bad, not bad. This is pretty interesting now. The last one, just bring it over here and maybe give it all the time to be visible first. And here you are. Okay, let's see how it's happening. Asian statistic is working well. So actually you have completed the animation, you have completed the whole project, and it's looking quite cool. The next step to do, of course, is select all your layers and enable motion blur for all of them and enable it for the comp. Deselect, and let's see how it looks. By now you have learned a lot about motion graphics and you can create almost any animation that you design. Of course, a beginner's animation or a bit intermediate, not the complex animation. This course is about After Effects altogether, not only motion graphics. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this was very fun for you. I'll see you in the next lecture.